Good morning นะครับ everyone okay นะครับ so today I'll introduce you for the new tools that we have to use after midterm examination นะครับ after the after midterm so at the very beginning of the course I told you that in this term we have two different tools that we have to learn. The first one is Microsoft Excel นะครับ Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet software that you can use in order to manage the data นะครับ after you learn how to manage the data by using Microsoft Excel already นะครับ now for the second half of the term we will study for the visualization for your data that you have got นะครับ from the data that you have นะครับ in Microsoft Excel or the data in various forms. You can see that for Microsoft Excel, it has the capability in order to visualize the data นะครับ for a certain level. For example, you can create graph or charts นะครับ or you can just like have dashboard on Microsoft Excel. But นะครับ when the time goes by, Microsoft try to launch another software นะครับ that is intended to use for data visualization นะครับ it is like purely intent for visualization นะครับ because Microsoft company found that okay some people นะครับ they just worried about visualization because right now you can see that when we have the data especially in the meeting room, visualization is the most important thing than just like displaying the data in the table like Excel ones that Excel can help you to do that. Okay, so if we're talking about like Microsoft Excel charts, why don't we use the chart in Microsoft Excel only? For like if you don't have much data, Excel is okay in order to show the charts that you would like to have. But when you have more and more data, especially if you have the online data, some of the data is the data that you purchase or you subscribe from some of the businesses. For example, some of you may have heard the name of the news agency like Reuters company นะครับ or Bloomberg นะครับ those companies you can see that when you just like watch TV news นะครับ most of the time they just like mention these news agency. So what is this kind of company นะครับ actually the companies like Reuters or the companies like Bloomberg, they are the information company นะครับ information provider company. So what is the information provider? They provide all sources of information that you would like to know นะครับ that the company need to use, that public need to use. For example, if we are talking about like the news is one kind of product นะครับ that Bloomberg or Reuters sell to their customers นะครับ that are just like news agency like for example CNBC ABC News นะครับ or even the news agency in Thailand as well, that if we would like to have the international news we may have to purchase นะครับ or subscribe to these services นะครับ that is just one product that Reuters or Bloomberg sell. But actually what are the major products, because you can see that right now the news like this they almost provide it for free นะครับ for public. Also for news agency they may pay นะครับ because they subscribe. Okay, what about like the major products? Actually these companies they sell นะครับ the online and real-time information. For example stock market situation นะครับ the stock market price for today นะครับ the price of each stock today, the history นะครับ of like this kind of stock, and sometimes they also provide some feedback or some comments for the stock as well. What else? Crude oil price นะครับ precious metal price like gold price นะครับ and also like some kind of stone นะครับ the precious stone price like diamond or something นะครับ in each country, each specific period of time as well. So that means if you would like to have the information like that, you have to subscribe. And normally for the companies นะครับ especially for the companies that has to do the international trading or international business นะครับ with other companies or with overseas, this information might be important. Then companies may subscribe the services from this new agency or the information service provider นะครับ so that one is their major products. So if we have to use Excel only in order to display those data, it might not be enough. And also Excel itself นะครับ when you get the data, it's not the real-time one. You get it once, it's a static one. If you would like to have the new data นะครับ or I mean the updated graph, you have to save, close, and reopen Excel once again. So that is not like the way that business people do. So the things that Excel try to help นะครับ is that they try to launch another product นะครับ that is from Microsoft company นะครับ we call it as Microsoft Power BI. Why don't they just like add this capability? Why don't Microsoft provide the information or provide this kind of program นะครับ in the Microsoft Excel? First one นะครับ some of the people do not need this kind of capabilities. For example, if you say that, okay, your company doesn't sell anything with the international market, you just like want to use the basic features of Excel only. So that means, firstly, if Microsoft just like implement these features in Excel, it will have to cost you more for sure, because it is their cost. When they sell Excel to you, it will be more expensive. Second one, when you install this kind of software, for sure, it just like load your hard drive space. It will just like also use up your memory as well. So that's why they don't just like put it in Microsoft Excel. And the third one is about the marketing, because if you put everything in Microsoft Excel, so you just sell Excel to the people only, you don't get anything more. So that's why Microsoft company just launched their newer product, so that it will be just like the selling point นะครับ for Microsoft products to maybe the new segment of the people where they may not want to use Excel, or they have Excel already, but they want to have any capabilities in order to visualize the data. They will buy this kind of software นะครับ and also currently if you sell everything นะครับ it might not work. So Microsoft company has the free version for this kind of product as well. And in this class, I'll talk about the Microsoft Power BI software. So since 2013 or 14, Microsoft realized these problems for the data visualization, that people would like to have the data visualization tools that is better than what Excel has got. And at that time, there are some companies that was set up in order to just sell their data visualization tools as well. That is what we call Tableau. That is the competitor of Microsoft Power BI. So Microsoft just like launched their software that is called Microsoft Power BI into the market since then. And they try to have lots of updating. Actually, they just update almost every quarters for their software to have. Sometimes they have some new interfaces. Sometimes they have new capabilities in order to let the users who would like to visualize their data to download this software for free. and at the same time it has for the corporate version as well นะครับ Let me talk about this software. After this midterm นะครับ after the midterm we have to use this software นะครับ until the end of the term. Okay, so by the way นะครับ I told you at the very beginning of this course already that okay we have to use Microsoft Power BI that is running that can be run based on Microsoft Windows environment only. What does it mean? It means that if you use Windows PC, that's okay. You can just like install this software. But anyway, for Windows, it must be Windows 7 and above only. So that means if you don't have Microsoft Windows 7 or above, you cannot run Power BI. What about the any of you who use Mac? You can see that Mac is not running based on Windows environment. You have to just like make your computer to be available to install Microsoft Power BI first. So let me just like show you for the way in order to help your computer or yourself to be able to use Power BI. Okay, as I told you, you need to have the first one, Windows 7 or above. That means if you have Windows 8, Windows 10, or the latest Windows, or this one, the latest one is Windows 11, you can just install the Power BI straight away. But if you have Mac, there are a couple of options that you can obtain your Microsoft Power BI. The first one is that you have to make your Mac to be available to get the Windows environment. What does it mean? Let me just show you. This is your Mac OS. That comes with your Mac when you just like use it right now. That you see the Apple icon on the top left corner of the screen. That is Mac OS. The next one, if you would like to have the Windows, that means you have to make your Mac to have Microsoft Windows in your computer, in your Mac as well. So that means you have to install some software. So so this software will work as a middle person. The software that you have to run to make your Mac to be available to run Windows on that, you may have a software that we call Parallel Desktop. Or VMware, or the free one is Bootcamp, that comes with your Mac. You can just like use or download the Bootcamp from the Mac from the Mac website, Apple website, so that you can just like install this software. When you install this software already, what is on top of this software, then your computer will be the multi-purpose already. You can run or you can install Windows on this layer. Once you install Windows on your Mac already, the top layer is Power BI. You can download and install it. Otherwise, if you do not have this kind of layer, you cannot just run Power BI or install Power BI on your computer. This is for Mac user. That means, okay, what is my suggestion? If you are not the techie people, I recommend you to go to the IT store. If you live nearby, Saraya, the nearest one that I've been there before was the Mall Bangkhair or Seacon Bangkok นะครับ they have just like many IT shops that that you can hire them to install parallel desktop นะครับ or VMware or Bootcamp for you and install Microsoft Windows for you as well นะครับ and the next step for Power BI you can just like install by yourself because it's very easy when you can just like use Microsoft Windows on your Mac already นะครับ that is the first option make your Mac to be available to run Windows on that second one นะครับ second choice for the Mac users นะครับ that we found like many of the some of the students did that choice they borrow นะครับ they borrow the laptop computer from their friends or other people นะครับ or your family members นะครับ to use with Power BI นะครับ and then install it and use it but make sure นะครับ we had one student couple of terms ago he didn't have his PC นะครับ then he borrow from maybe his family members or from his parents that that laptop was very old so when it's old for example it's 5 or 6 years old and then you try to install Power BI it will be very slow นะครับ then you have to know that okay in the examination นะครับ you have 2 hours only if it is very slow นะครับ that okay how slow it is slow until you notice that when you open Microsoft Power BI you may have to wait for 5 minutes that is too slow for you already or when you just like what to say save and close the file it takes a lot of time นะครับ like 2-3 minutes that one means slow but if it is just like 1 minute that is acceptable นะครับ because Power BI is a lot slower than Excel because it has like to use a lot of graphics capability in it นะครับ okay so that is the first one you borrow from someone else or somebody rents นะครับ somebody rents the laptop นะครับ from a company นะครับ so right now there are like lots of company that allow you to rent the laptop computer for let's say 2 months นะครับ something like that somebody just like rent the laptop computer like that นะครับ to use in the class นะครับ these are like 3 choices that you can do นะครับ to use Microsoft Power BI first install this software นะครับ to let your Mac to be able to install Power BI and run it on your Mac second one rent from someone else third one hire from a company นะครับ these are 3 choices only some of you say that can I use the desktop computer in the university on campus that choice is too risky because we cannot guarantee that when will you be able to just like go to use the facilities in MUIC again so you can see that okay from the announcement on last week they said that okay the campus is not allowed for any students to enter and use the facilities until the 7th of March let's say now that means from today until the 7th of March you cannot use any computer นะครับ over there second one after 7th of March we don't know the situation maybe 2 weeks after it's okay after that if the situation is not better they close again then you don't have any computer to use and for sure on the examination days it will be during weekends so there will be no staff นะครับ to open up the computer lab for you so how can you just like use the computer in computer lab to do the exam นะครับ it's impossible so that's why we have just 3 choice left นะครับ install this software in the series borrow from someone else or rent the computer only นะครับ so but anyway นะครับ you might say that อาจารย์ but today I don't have it how can I learn นะครับ don't worry I give you 1 week นะครับ 1 full week listen to me carefully I give you 1 full week นะครับ that means we will start นะครับ talking about the Microsoft Power BI นะครับ in full scale on next Monday so that means in this week you still have time to go and find this software for you. That means on next Monday you have to be ready นะครับ to use Power BI already นะครับ I will no longer waiting for you นะครับ on next Monday. So this we have just 3 choices only นะครับ but if any of you because I told you at the first day of the class that we really need to have Power BI นะครับ if นะครับ you say that no, these 3 choices I don't accept it, I can't have it. So just like unfortunately I have to tell you that you have to withdraw from the class นะครับ because these are just like the choice that we have to use that I told you at the first day of the class already นะครับ so I don't want to say like that นะครับ but I mean like this is the policy that I and Vira we discussed at the before the class start, and we have to tell the students on the very first day so that students will acknowledge that they need to have the Power BI or at least the Microsoft Windows environment so that they can just install Power BI before you just like start anything in our class. So in this one okay, for anyone who have got the Microsoft Windows based computer or Microsoft Windows environment on your Mac already, where can you obtain Microsoft Power BI and what version of Microsoft Power BI that we have to use นะครับ let me just like show you in here. So let's see, when you would like to get Microsoft Power BI นะครับ you just go to your browser นะครับ and then you just type Power BI นะครับ to search for it. You just type Power BI download นะครับ Power BI download. For anyone who use Mac right now, you can just like go along to have a look นะครับ so that when it comes to just like the time that you have to install, where can you get that software นะครับ you just type Power BI download นะครับ just Google it, and then นะครับ when you would like to download Power BI นะครับ you just go to Microsoft website นะครับ so in this one you can see that the first result is showing that okay, this is Microsoft Power BI desktop นะครับ bear in mind the software that we have to use is Microsoft Power BI desktop นะครับ Microsoft Power BI desktop because Power BI has like various platform นะครับ this one we use Microsoft Power BI desktop. Where can you obtain it? The Microsoft Power BI desktop นะครับ if you are Windows users, some of you might say that okay, can I go to Microsoft Store นะครับ you may, but the best place to get it is from the Microsoft website นะครับ when you go to this website นะครับ Microsoft Power BI desktop make sure that it is Microsoft website นะครับ because actually there are some website that they try to just prepare the Power BI for you as well. For example, here you see Thaiware.com or Softronic นะครับ don't use this website. Don't use this website นะครับ this one, because it might be dangerous for your computer นะครับ some of the website that they allow you to install this Power BI desktop, they may just like also have some viruses or spyware นะครับ on the Power BI that you install. Then don't use other website than Microsoft. Okay, so when you go to Microsoft Power BI desktop in the Microsoft from the Microsoft website already นะครับ in here. Okay, let me just see. Okay, let me change the language first. English. So in this one, you may search Power BI directly from here นะครับ so this one Power BI desktop. Okay. Actually, in the series of Power BI, there are many software นะครับ many software that are under Power BI นะครับ you have Power BI server, you have Power BI mobile, you have Power BI desktop. you have Power BI report generator นะครับ in this class use Power BI desktop only นะครับ because if you download other software then Power BI desktop นะครับ it is not matched with you นะครับ because the rest of them นะครับ you have to purchase นะครับ there are two different software of Power BI นะครับ that are free. One is Power BI desktop. The other one is Power BI mobile. By the way นะครับ they use differently. Some of the students นะครับ last term they asked me that อาจารย์ for Power BI mobile can I download it and use it on my iPad นะครับ because I don't have Windows based computer right now I can tell you that unfortunately Power BI mobile นะครับ is not for us Power BI mobile is the software is the version of Power BI that is used to view your visualization only you cannot create any charts from the Power BI mobile นะครับ the software that we can use in order to create the charts นะครับ and edit the chart and visualize the chart is Power BI desktop only นะครับ okay now let's see นะครับ for what about like other version of Power BI for the Power BI server that is for corporate นะครับ they have to purchase it and install those Power BI servers into their servers นะครับ it is not for individual computer นะครับ so for Power BI desktop here นะครับ when you see this this page already นะครับ these are just like introduction นะครับ for Power BI desktop you can click on get นะครับ in here there are two choices first one as I told you you can just like use Microsoft Store นะครับ or you may just like you just like want to install by yourself นะครับ in here okay so in this one okay let me just like go to Google Power BI once again นะครับ okay I change the language first in this one นะครับ when I go to this website นะครับ the Microsoft website it show us that okay in which language that you would like to install and download Power BI นะครับ my suggestion นะครับ even though you are Thai native speakers or Chinese native speaker but the recommended language is English นะครับ because when I just like give you some examples or in the examination as well everything will be in English if you just like try to install into your language sometimes you get confused นะครับ that okay which one that you really have to use then you click download okay so when you click download here นะครับ there are two different version นะครับ of the Power BI desktop for you that you can download and install first is PBI desktop setup x64 the other one is PBI desktop setup these are like two different versions นะครับ okay so what are the difference นะครับ for this one นะครับ the first one the one that is ended with underscore x64 this is for 64-bit Windows นะครับ while the bottom one นะครับ this is for 32-bit Windows okay. now there comes to the decision making which version of Windows do you have นะครับ how to check นะครับ the version of Windows do you have when you have to check for the version of Windows นะครับ it is easy okay so firstly นะครับ you go to the Windows the start button on the bottom left corner of your screen right click นะครับ you have to right click first and then you choose system นะครับ you have to choose system okay. now you can see that in here นะครับ in here Okay, let me just have a look first for this one. For this one, you can see that if you go to this one, you will see system type that is 64-bit operating system. So if your computer is a 64-bit operating system, you use the Power BI for 64-bit Windows in here. I think right now most of the computer if you are not the techie people, when you buy the software, when you buy the computer from the store, normally they install 64-bit for you but in order to make sure, just like do the one that I told you before, you right click on start menu, go to system, and then you just like see that what is your system type. If it's 64-bit operating system, you just install the 64-bit Windows version of Power BI Desktop just that, and then you just download click next. Now your Power BI is downloading it just takes some time a bit. Okay. So today I'll just like introduce you how to install Power BI onto your computer, and yeah, so I'll just like let you have some times in order to prepare it. Okay, so that means on today class and Wednesday class I don't talk about the Power BI desktop in detail. I just like talk about like the way that you can just like obtain the Power BI what are the Power BI menus, just that and then I'll let you just like go to search for to just like spend some time by yourself. So that means on today class and Wednesday class I'll finish the class early because it's a time for you to prepare your Power BI. If I just like talk about Power BI in details some of you who still don't have Power BI, you just like don't get what I'm talking about. And the next thing that you have to know for Power BI, when you have the Power BI already, if Power BI asks you to update the Power BI try to update it as the latest version, because if you don't update to the latest version, sometimes when I give you the example of the files that is created on the newer version or than the Power BI that you have got sometimes your one might not be able to show the visualization that I give it to you. Especially when you are in the exam, try to update your Power BI to be the latest version. Okay. So this take couple of minutes in order to prepare. So for the Microsoft Power BI some of you who get the Windows environment, you may just like want to get the or obtain the Power BI from the Microsoft Store. So what is the difference? Let me just like go to Microsoft Store for you. This one. So in the Microsoft Store if you just like go to Power BI, okay, let me show you what are inside what do we have in the Power BI. You can see that in here there are many Power BI on Microsoft Store. You have Power BI Report Builder Power BI Desktop so the one that I recommend you to install if you go to Microsoft Store is Power BI Desktop not Power BI. You go to Power BI Desktop in here instead. Okay, and then you just click get. It asks you to log in. You can use your Hotmail account in order to log in นะครับ so then it will be downloaded for you. Then it's similar to the one that we get from Microsoft website นะครับ absolutely the same. So when you have to install Power BI Desktop นะครับ even though the size when you download it, it said 300 something megabytes, but in your computer at least you should have 1.8 gigabytes นะครับ for your hard drive space. Otherwise, your Power BI will be very slow นะครับ in there. Okay, it's just 1 minute left. I have to download this software. Okay, so for the Power BI นะครับ when you install the Power BI desktop already, this software นะครับ apart from just like viewing or creating your visualization, you can just like simulate as if you just like use your mobile phone in order to view this visualization how it looks like as well นะครับ in the past this version didn't have in the Microsoft Power BI desktop นะครับ they just like recently have it. So that means in the future นะครับ if you have to work with the data visualization, these kind of things, that are the tools that you need to have in your company first. If you say that, okay, your company is not cannot afford for buying the Power BI server, what should we do? You don't need to buy it. You just like download the Power BI desktop for free, and then you can just use it. There is no problem. Okay. So when you get the Power BI desktop setup file already, let's see. This is your Power BI desktop setup file. You just double click to install. So we install English language version นะครับ then start installing it. So just wait a bit นะครับ After that, it asks you to just like go to the next step. Then you have to read the software license agreements, and then choose accept the terms. Click next. Choose the location you want to install it. If you don't know, just leave it as a default. You don't need to change anything. Click next, and then it asks you to whether you would like to create a desktop shortcut as well. It depends on you, and then you start installing. Just take some time to install this software. Oh, by the way นะครับ apart from Power BI, what do we have to do นะครับ after midterm? The things that we have to do is that we need to do prepare นะครับ the team presentation. You have to use the knowledge that you got from Microsoft Excel to prepare นะครับ to prepare the presentation นะครับ at the end of the term. So that means on the last week of the term นะครับ on the last week of the term we have to do the team presentation นะครับ for the requirements นะครับ it will be I just like tell you on this coming Wednesday. Apart from that one นะครับ I will set up the team for you นะครับ I'll set up the team for you so that you can just like work with the team that I set up นะครับ to just like accomplish the task. Some of you may have the question like why can't I set up the team by myself นะครับ this one I just like had a meeting with Ajahn Veera that we should let the students to realize นะครับ the experience นะครับ as if you work in the company you cannot choose anyone to work with นะครับ so the company or your boss will assign the teammate for you นะครับ so that you can just like work with them นะครับ so in this one so in every section นะครับ we have to use the same policy that means the instructor will just like randomly choose the group for you นะครับ so that you can work with the group that we assign actually นะครับ for the number of members นะครับ in each group it will be around 4นะครับ around 4 people นะครับ up to 5 people นะครับ depends on just like number of students in the class นะครับ I will just like randomly prepare นะครับ the group for you and then I'll announce on Wednesday together with just like the requirements that I need you to do นะครับ for the what to say the term presentation นะครับ So that means today when we just like finish installing the Microsoft Power BI, I'll suggest I will just like introduce you for some part of Power BI and then we can finish the class นะครับ so the class today can be finished earlier than just the regular class time นะครับ It just takes some timeนะครับto install it. So while we are waiting for Power BI to finish installation, do you have any questions to ask? Okay, let's do like this ครับ because it takes some time นะครับ I don't want you to wait. So for any of you who have got Microsoft Windows computer นะครับ just install Power BI นะครับ and on this coming Wednesday we are going to continue talking about like just like the basic components นะครับ on the Power BI screen and then we will talk about the term project presentation as well นะครับ okay so นะครับ it's almost finished so I think นะครับ today I'll stop at this point นะครับ and then I want นะครับ for any of you who use Windows based PC to install to completely install your Power BI นะครับ and then you have to be patient a bit because it takes some time to install นะครับ and when you finish installing you should see like the symbol like the symbol like the bar chart like this นะครับ this is Power BI and it asks you to sign into your account. You may use like your Mahidol's email account นะครับ in order to sign in as well นะครับ and this one is the Power BI desktop นะครับ on Wednesday I'll talk about the details of this interface a bit นะครับ of the menu a bit and then introduce you for the team นะครับ and the requirements for your presentation นะครับ the presentation for like for the term presentation is about Excel นะครับ it's not about Power BI นะครับ okay. right okay then นะครับ I think I better stop at this point นะครับ okay So finally, you should get the Power BI like this. You just try, and then when it works properly already, you can close Power BI program straight away like this. Okay, then up to this point, do you have any questions, anyone?